NBA All-Star Weekend kicks off tonight with the Rising Stars Challenge at 8 o'clock. Both Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, and now Carter Bryant will all be participating in that. Tomorrow it's All-Star Saturday night with the Duncan three-point contest. It starts at 7 here on San Antonio Sports Star. Rookie Carter Bryant will be competing in that. And on Sunday, it's the All-Star Game at 3 o'clock.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. Thank you for joining me, however you may be joining me. Whether that's 94.1 on your FM dial, if you happen to be locked in and listening live via the AA Best Bail Bonds audio player at sasportstar.com, or if you're watching our show live on YouTube. That's right, we stream all of our shows live on YouTube. Just go there. You can watch the Morning Huddle, the Blitz, right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure. Go to YouTube, search SA Sports Star, like, subscribe. You can comment along with the show as it happens, or you can feel free to call in the old-fashioned way at 210-656-ESPN, 210-656-3776 if you want to be a part of the conversation. Always love it when y'all get involved with the show, whether it's on YouTube or calling in. So, always good times with all of y'all. And earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle, as we talk about the All-Star break, there is a lot to look forward to when it comes to the Spurs as we sit right now with where they are going into the All-Star break, how they've been playing, what their, I guess, portends for the future, you should say. And Rob and AJ were talking about what they've done to this point and what we expect from them as they come out and go into the second half of the season. That was the Morning Huddle this morning. AJ and Rob talking about the state of the Spurs as they head into the All-Star break.
All right, let's get into the Spurs, who we won't see again until Thursday. And as it sits, Rob, the Spurs are second in the Western Conference, comfortably second in the Western Conference. They are only 3 games behind Oklahoma City. They are 3.5 games ahead of the third place Denver Nuggets. I mentioned last hour, I think saying, okay, let's grade the Spurs on our preseason expectations is a waste of time because it's A+. They've exceeded all. I mean, am I wrong on that? Every expectation we had, they've exceeded.
And if we'd even had this discussion 3 weeks ago, it wouldn't be as good a grade as it is now, because now we have the addition of Carter Bryant and his addition to the team, because he is now becoming a significant role player where 6 weeks ago you didn't see him.
Yeah.
So the Spurs have even turned the page and improved upon a situation that we have already found to be just absolutely surprising would be the best word for me. I don't think we expected this eventually, but I don't think we expected it this fast.
Right.
You know,
amongst the contenders in the Western Conference, and I don't know where I draw the line at contenders.
Yeah, there's 6, 7. I mean, yeah.
Okay, you know what? Amongst the contenders, I would say the only team that's the point I'm getting at is the Spurs have been blessed with better health than most of the other contenders in the West.
Well, and the fact is, the Spurs have not been healthy.
You're right, but they have had less time missed by key players than the other
in some
top tier
guys.
The one exception to that might be Minnesota. Minnesota's been, especially compared to the other contenders, relatively healthy. But like Oklahoma City's missed their second best player for most of the season now. The Nuggets have been without either Murray or Jokic for most of the
And
season.
Shea now out too. So.
The Rockets started the season without a point guard.
And LeBron and Luka taking turns on the bench.
So the other contenders in the West have had massive chunks of time without key guys. The Spurs had that stretch without Wemby, but for the most part,
and Devin missed a lot of time.
You're right.
And, I mean, it's been one at a time.
But Devin's like their
third.
Okay, is he their third?
Well, when he got hurt the last time, he was shooting.
Okay.
Remember where he was hitting. So yeah.
So relative to the other top tier teams, they've had good health. But even with that, I mean, and I don't think the Thunder would use health as an excuse because they won all those games with Jalen Williams gone. Like they were, in fact, did they lose a game the first stretch that he was out? Like because didn't they start like 17-0 or something?
Pretty quick, yeah.
But let's assume that health remains the same for the Spurs. Let's assume they don't have any major injuries down the stretch. Are the Spurs in their current form a championship contender this season?
Yes.
When did you realize that?
It's been a slow burn, but
because I mean, for a long time you kept saying no, they're not there yet.
They're not a favorite, but if you're going to tell me, is there a preponderance, a possibility? Absolutely, there is.
Okay,
certainly considering what we've seen, because two things have happened. One,
are they one of the 5 most likely teams in the league to win a title this year?
They're 5th or 6th.
Okay,
they're right there.
Okay,
I mean, look at the numbers, and we're looking at Wemby, at least over the last 10 games. Really start to dominate, not just highlight, but dominate. Yeah. And he's not just dominating 5 minutes anymore. Now the domination has gone from 5 minutes to 12 minutes to now a full freaking quarter of every Wemby you can possibly stand. I mean, from all 3 levels of scoring, all 3 levels of defense, passing, all of that. So we're seeing a growth in maturation and in skill set. We're getting a team that's kind of growing together. Everybody's spent some time off, so everybody's played with everybody now. They're rounded into forms, and now there's no worries about Sohan taking minutes. And Carter Bryant is now doing some things that are filling the gaps that Harrison wasn't for a moment.
Yeah.
So we're getting a lot of things that we didn't have. Can they beat the Nuggets in 7 fully healthy? And I doubt it. I mean, they'll give them a good fight. But if you tell them, are they one of the top 5 contenders? I think all the other 4 would say the Spurs are. You know, you ask the rest of the league, they might look at it a different way.
Here's Chris Webber talking about the San Antonio Spurs right now.
When Fox went there last year, I just laughed and talked to Popovich, and we love you, Pop. But if you remember their team, with the great Tim Duncan and David Robinson, they had height, but what did they have? They had Tony Parker. Why was he special? In a time with Shaquille O'Neal, this guy was at the top of points in the paint because of pick and roll and that little hook shot he had. So he put defenses in a terrible situation because he got in the paint and could pass out to shooters like Ginobili and others, right? That's all Fox and these guys are going to do. And I just watched them get better and better and better. And I think they're going to surprise some people with the potential that they have coming together earlier than people thought.
I think right now it's a very popular pick. Right now, I think you know what I mean?
It feels trendy.
I heard Perks say the same thing because, we've won 6 straight. And Wemby is putting up, like I said, not dominating moments, but dominating quarters. And it's an easy grab, but there's still so far to go. And anybody who hasn't been through the struggle doesn't know what the struggle is. And we haven't been through the struggle. We have not been through the depths of a playoff run where there's now film on you, brother. We know exactly what you're going to do before you do it. We've watched enough film to know when you catch the ball and you look left, we know where you're going.
Yeah.
And there's that, you got to overcome that. And until you've seen it, until you've done it against expert level coaching and play, not average play where you play a guy and they got a little bit of film on you from a couple of weeks ago. These dudes know what your moves are. And that's the thing that I think is so hard to get past. No matter how good you look, you got to look good that much for 5, 6, 7 games. And the young guys it just wears you down.
Well, and the other part of it is as good as they look right now, I think you should have the same concern for the Spurs that you would have for the Detroit Pistons. It looks great right now. We've never seen this in the playoffs. Right. Most of these players have never seen the playoffs. I mean, the but not counting Harrison Barnes, who's like losing minutes by the minute. The veteran presence that you brought in was De'Aaron Fox,
right.
who came from a place where they never made the playoff. I mean, I think they made it twice the whole time he was there. So you do worry about how a team's going to how they'll fare in that situation. And it's to be fair, it's the same. I have those same concerns about Detroit. Like, I don't know. I love what their team looks like right now. Do I trust them in the playoffs? I don't know.
Game 4 in Boston.
Yeah.
Must win. And Boston been there and done that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's the crucible. And Spurs haven't been through it, and Denver and Oklahoma City have. So when you ask me do they have a chance? Yeah, they got a chance, but there's 2 more that have better chance.
The Spurs are 6th favorite in the odds right now. Or no, excuse me, 7th. There are 6 teams ahead of them in the odds to win the NBA title right now. Can you name them?
Well, obviously the 2 I just named.
Oklahoma City and Denver. Those are the 2 favorites. Oklahoma City plus 130, Denver plus 450.
Then I'll look east and I'll put the Knicks and probably the Celtics ahead of the Knicks. But Celtics, Knicks, Cleveland in there too, maybe. And one more Western, I'll say the Rockets.
No. You got most of them right. Cleveland is 12-1. They're the 3rd favorite. Knicks 13-1. Detroit and Boston are both 15-1.
Okay, I meant Detroit to be in that list.
And then the Spurs are 16-1, and then the next team is the Rockets. You jump to 22-1 there.
Okay,
so people are starting to look at this Spurs team as a legit threat. Here is Kendrick Perkins talking about the Spurs.
To keep trending the way that they're trending, and that's trying to go win the championship. Let me say this. The San Antonio Spurs are legit title contenders. Legit title contenders. They have a young man by the name of Victor Wembanyama who could be the best player against any other matchup in the league in a 7-game series. They have perimeter defense. When you talk about Stephon Castle, a veteran like Harrison Barnes, De'Aaron Fox, a guy that you could go to in the 4th quarter that showed that he could be clutch, that went toe-to-toe with Steph Curry. I expect this team to continue to trend in that direction, and I also expect this team to possibly go and get the number 1 spot in the Western Conference, because the only knock that you could have on the Spurs is them not having enough experience. And the only way to cover that and cover for that is have as many playoff games as you possibly can in your home court.
Well said. Exactly.
It is well said. Yeah. And I think my big hope for the Spurs here is, because I don't think whoever they play in the first round at this point is going to give them much of a push, whether it be like
it'll be a play-in team.
It'll be like a Portland or maybe a Phoenix or Golden State. I don't think there's going to be much. I don't think there's going to be much to push the Spurs in a 7-game series. Now, Golden State certainly applies to this, and the Clippers would apply to this. They could be in that same range as teams who have more experience than the Spurs, that maybe those teams could give them more of a push.
Absolutely.
But and maybe it's a good thing if they catch one of those teams. Portland and Phoenix, I don't think would provide much resistance. What I'm hopeful for is the second series, whether it's against Denver or Houston or some team like that. I hope that it goes 7 games. I hope that win or lose, the Spurs get as many possible reps as possible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I want to see them.
You wish it. We want to see it. Mitch is going, what? You want me to try to get this to 7 for experience? No, I get what you're saying. Absolutely.
Because I
want them to go through the crucible, and the earlier the better, because it's going to be tough when they get further down the road.
Because I still believe, I still think the Thunder are going to win the NBA title this year. I think if it's not the Thunder, it's going to be the Nuggets. Anybody else will be, I think, a bit of an upset, really.
I think you're right.
But I'm thinking if the Spurs can go through it this year, if the Spurs can play like 10 or 11 playoff games, then I think next year I'm going to feel a lot better about the Spurs when they go up against OKC or Denver. Even this year, I don't think I would like to see them. I think there's a world where they could make it to the Western Conference Finals, where they could, if they beat the Nuggets in a 7-game series, and then they go against the Thunder. I don't think they'd beat them in a 7-game series, but I think even losing in a series against them would be valuable experience, because I think next year, I think, assuming health holds for everybody over this offseason, I think next year the Thunder will be the favorites. And I think the Spurs might be the second favorites to win the NBA title. And now we're talking like, now you're a real contender.
Let's just be very careful of where we are. This is just, we're still in the marathon stage.
No, I know.
And I love the trendy pick, and I know that everything's looking good. But you got to be a realist and go, we've got a coach that's never been here before.
Yeah.
And, he's certainly got guidance, and he's got the greatness behind him. But he's got to go through his own particular trials and tribs. He's got to, as coaches. And then you got a team that's been on the periphery, but nothing like this before. And then when you get this trendy pick, we're already looking at the Spurs as a target. They're already kind of selling out. But now
the fact that Chris Webber and Kendrick Perkins are talking about him on national television kind of lets you know.
But we're still in the honeymoon stage. People are applauding Wemby when he does that. We haven't gotten to the point where when we walk into the building, people are throwing stuff at you. Yeah. Like, we're sick and tired of how good you are, and we don't mind if you get undercut and you get taken elbow. Now everybody's looking for you to make a highlight. In about a year and a half, you become the most hated man in the world. You become Michael Jordan when they come to town. We want to see you do good, but I'd just soon see you get locked down.
LeBron has dealt with it.
So let's enjoy this honeymoon stage, because when you get in the playoffs, the crowds aren't quite as friendly to you when you go off for 27 in the first quarter. Right. They're not cheering that dunk. They're screaming stuff at you and scheming on how they get you off the court.
Well, it's cute and cuddly now because you're a baby pit bull.
Right.
You're a puppy.
So let's
once
enjoy
you're a full-grown pit bull, people are like, oh, I don't want to walk around that guy.
Well, it struck me watching the Laker game how the cheering was as loud for Wemby as it was for the Lakers. And I was thinking, Tim never got that treatment. Now, nobody was ever applauding Tim when he went for 20 in the first quarter. They were losing their minds and screaming for timeouts and fouls. So it's going to get harder on Wemby too, because you're not the hero anymore. You become the villain in 29 different stadiums, or 33 soon, I guess, different stadiums.
To me, I look at the Spurs. They are one of the top 3 teams, maybe 4, in the NBA that can win a championship this year, along with the Thunder, the Knicks, the Pistons, and you can throw Denver in that category as well. I don't see another team making a run unless somebody gets super hot at the end of the year and just really starts putting together this impressive close to the season where, they go 16-2 down the stretch or something like that. Right now, the Spurs, to me, look like the favorites in the Western Conference. And I do think we should start expecting as much if you haven't already, because they have proven to this point of the season that they are one of the top 5 teams in the NBA. And by doing so, by being one of those teams, they're one of the few teams in the NBA that you would give a legitimate puncher's chance at being an NBA champion by season's end. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Appreciate y'all rolling along with me tonight as we come back. Dallas Cowboys. Well, the rumors are on fire for them again, and they revolve around a Max Crosby, but those aren't the only rumor people tied to Max Crosby this offseason, and Cowboy fans might not like some of the other teams that are attached to his name. But what did Max Crosby have to say about those rumors? Well, we'll let you hear it next, right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle after a long weekend. The boys are back in the saddle. We got plenty of Olympic hockey to talk, Rob.
Oh, All-Star weekend came and gone. We've got more Spurs coming forward. Hey, you got an assignment. You can sleep in on Monday, but we will see you again on Tuesday. Set the alarm. We'll see you at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
I've got an idea for a new bit we need to do.
Okay.
I'm not paying. Like you're at a restaurant.
Okay.
They screw your order up. Just sit there and say, I'm not paying.
What is that? Those are mashed potatoes, sir. I'm not paying.
Right. I'm not paying.
Maybe we should advise people, don't ever try to pull this on like a hooker or a drug dealer. The John Clay Wolf Show.
Listen to the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturday morning at 8 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action because you can make those picks and win money right now here in Texas. And it's so easy. You pick your favorite players. Are they going to go higher or lower on their stats? Points, rebounds, steals, three-pointers made, whatever it is, you get your picks right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. I'm still riding De'Aaron Fox. He's become a great part of this offense. Always a good look for higher with De'Aaron. Download the app today. Use my promo code Alamo. You'll get $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code Alamo. Underdog. Make picks and win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-MY-RESET or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Chick-fil-A's new frosted sodas and floats. It's a 10 out of 10. Hey, this is Lizzie, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats is how well they go together. You will love having your favorite soda blended with our creamy ice stream to make a new frosted soda or float. With the mix of the ice stream and soda fizz, it's so delicious, I call it Fizzalicious.
Order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a new frosted soda and float at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Real team member paid for their testimony.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. You can follow me on socials at I am Pledger. That's Instagram, that is X, that is TikTok, that is everything. I am Pledger. You can follow the station at all of those at SA Sports Star. Always appreciate y'all rolling along with us on this Friday as we take you into a, hopefully for you, it will be for us, a long holiday weekend as we get Monday off for President's Day. Is that the one that's coming up? I don't know. I'm getting a day off, so I will be celebrating. The Dallas Cowboys, it could be celebrating. Jerry has done things differently this offseason. It hasn't been the same. Will he make the same bold moves when free agency comes around, when George Pickens' contract comes around, and not dragging that out to keep it in the headlines all offseason and fracturing a team or disrupting the consistency built over training camp, or just getting that work in to get on the same page and get this all taken care of ahead of time as they go into this next season, primed and ready to start competing to try and get to a Super Bowl. So far, his actions differ from previous years, so it looks like yes, but we don't know. One of those top things that has been circulating is Max Crosby. What's going to happen with Max Crosby? Well, the Blitz was talking about it a little bit earlier today, live out at the Brew Pub.
Max Crosby. And I, since this story has floated, I've cautiously said, I'm not going to allow myself as a Cowboy fan to get excited about the idea of Max Crosby becoming a Dallas Cowboy. Story yesterday about, Pickens for Crosby straight up. And if the Raiders do decide to trade him and offer him up to everybody, doesn't do what Nico did with Luke and just negotiate with one team, there would be a lot of suitors that would probably be more than just a George Pickens for Max Crosby straight up.
Yeah.
Philadelphia apparently is very interested. And I think every team would be interested in Max Crosby. If you're not, you're high and probably should be fired. If you're a GM that says, he's got too many tattoos, I don't want him. Yeah, you're an idiot.
Exactly.
Right? Everybody would want to at least explore the idea of bringing in a Max Crosby, who went on the Let's Go podcast with Jim Gray and talked about all the rumors involving Max Crosby.
My focus has been on getting healthy because that's all I can control right now. That's all that matters to me is being with my daughters and being with my wife and taking care of myself. People are going to have rumors. I just looked at my phone. I've been working all morning. I got another, everyone's hit me up. Did you say this? I can't control that. You earn that as a player. If I wasn't doing the right things and if I wasn't the person and player I was, people wouldn't be talking about all the nonsense, but that's what comes with it. If you have drama, if you have a losing season, they just try to throw gasoline on the fire and make, things a certain way. And for me, I know what I'm about. I know what I represent. You know what I mean? I really don't care what everybody has to say. I used to a lot as a young guy. I really don't give a damn. People could have their own opinions. I know what's going on. I know my truth. And I don't need to sit here and keep, rehashing it to people that don't know what's going on. So I don't even waste time with it.
Yeah.
It would be so hard to see a Max Crosby in a different uniform. I don't care whether it's Philadelphia or Dallas or whoever. It would be just weird. I mean, that guy just looks like, if you said, who do we want on the Las Vegas Raiders? Max Crosby would be the poster child.
It would be. and I'm with you. And that was a whole lot of saying nothing and people that don't know anything. Well, dude, you're on a podcast. You agreed to go on a podcast. Tell the people the answers that, for all the rumors. Do you want to still be a Raider? I mean, listen carefully when Jim Gray followed up and said, well, Max, tell me what you want. But when you're listening, pay attention to what he doesn't say.
I have a lot of goals, but I do want to win. That's all that matters ultimately. But I want to be in a place that where mentally I'm 100% myself. I just want to focus on football. That's truly what I want. People that know me know I'm about the work and football. I just want to play football and be left the fuck alone, period. And if people that don't understand that don't fucking know me. People can say whatever they want. I truly, and I'm saying this like, well, you had to get on the show and talk about it. Yeah, that's my obligation. I have to do that. But truly, I don't give a fuck besides playing football and winning football games. I give my whole life to this sport every single day. I'm here every morning. My alarm goes off at 4:55, and I am driving 35 minutes across town in an empty, dark building, doing the same thing every single day, trying to help my team, trying to help myself. People can talk all they want. People go on Twitter. I don't even see half the shit. Like I said, half of it is news to me. I just care about playing football.
You love it.
I don't love football. I am obsessed. I've been playing tackle football since I could fucking walk. This is what I do. I've done it my whole life. I don't know anything else. I love my family. I love friends and doing a podcast from time to time. I could play.
Would this be one of those times?
This would be one of the times, and I love seeing you, Jim. I love playing football. That is my purpose, is my passion, is to be a light to the world and be exactly the player and person that I envision myself being as a kid. I'm living that dream right now. So people talk about drama and this and this and that. I don't want to have it. I don't want to deal with it, but that is the reality of my situation because I've earned it as a player. I've earned it as an all-pro and a Pro Bowler, but that's not why I play the game. I play because I am obsessed with it. I could play the game for zero, and I played it for 15, 20 years, not making a dollar. I lived in Ypsilanti on a damn mattress, and I drove across the country by myself, made it happen. I'm living my dream every single day. So yes, I'm doing incredible, and I'm glad you asked that question. I appreciate it, Jim.
I'm glad you answered that question, Max Crosby, because what he didn't say is I'm happy as a Raider and I'm going to be a Raider for life. He says he wants to play for a winner and he wants to win and he loves football and he loves football and he loves football and he wants to win. He didn't say he wants to be a Las Vegas Raider forever.
He did not.
Stop all these trade talks. I don't want to go anywhere. He didn't say that.
No, you're right. He did not say that. And there were just a lot of F-bombs in there that I heard. But look.
It sounded like a truck backing up.
I think he said it when he says, I want to play for a winner. And I don't think he thinks the Raiders are going to be a winner anytime soon. Now, I'm not sure why he thinks that. I think the Raiders are in a position where they could turn things around pretty quickly. But maybe Max Crosby wants to go and do that now and not be, and not win 4 games every year as a member of the Las Vegas Raiders. Philadelphia would be a perfect spot for him to do that if that's one. But again, everybody would have interest in Max Crosby.
Now, again, part of the Cowboy connection is he went to high school in Fort Worth. He went to Colleyville Heritage High School there in the Fort Worth area. And so will he go there? But he went to college at Eastern Michigan. So when you look at all of it and you think about where he could go, and again, to say he wants to be a winner and come to Dallas, I realize, that's an oxymoron. But, at the same time, he didn't say, I want to be a Raider. You go back and so much has been made during Super Bowl week about DeMarcus Lawrence saying, I know I'm not going to win a Super Bowl in Dallas.
Yep.
D-Law didn't say anything like that until the Cowboys let him go. Up until then, that dude was a Cowboy for life. He was part of the Hot Boys, remember? And he loved being in Dallas.
Yeah.
Then he was angry because, they let him go. And he signs with Seattle and he won a Super Bowl, and I'm happy for him. But up until he was let go from Dallas, he didn't have a negative thing to say about being a Cowboy. He didn't say, hey, I want out because we can't win here. I want to go somewhere I can win. He wanted to stay. And I'm happy as hell that D-Law was able to go win a Super Bowl. For Max Crosby, I didn't hear him say, when he talks about all these rumors and all the BS and all the bleeps that you heard, I want to be a Raider. I don't want to get traded. He could have ended all of that talk real quick by saying, dude, I ain't going anywhere. And I don't want to go anywhere. He didn't say that.
No, he didn't. And that's saying a lot without saying anything. It certainly is. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. And we were talking about a George Pickens, Max Crosby deal. How about an A.J. Brown, Max Crosby deal if you're talking about Philadelphia? And I know nobody in the NFC East wants to see that happen unless you're Philadelphia. But any of these things are possible because, again, think about the Raiders, and we talked about it just a few minutes ago. I don't think they're that far away. And you add an A.J. Brown or George Pickens and a Mendoza as your quarterback, all of a sudden that offense is slinging. You still got Brock Bowers. You still got a running back. And I think I just don't see them being that far away. And you add a piece like that, an explosive piece, I think they're going to be in the mix.
It is interesting because you look at the AFC West with the Chargers and, I don't know, the Kansas City Chiefs, and you wonder, okay, how far away are they? And that's assuming that Fernando Mendoza can come right into the NFL and play at a high level, and that Kubiak can have first-year head coaching success like we've seen some of the others. But it's not just Dallas and Philadelphia. Detroit could certainly be a player. And could you imagine if he ended up in Detroit with Aiden Hutchinson on the other side?
My goodness.
You've heard the Bills. You've heard the 49ers. Hell, I mean, even Seattle or Washington.
The Patriots, I've heard, too.
But knowing Dallas's need, and they've got the ability to free up the money, I do think that moves the needle a little bit more for the Dallas Cowboys. If Jerry Jones wants this to happen, Jerry has got the flexibility with the cap and some tradable pieces, depending on what the Raiders want in return, to make it happen.
I would assume the Raiders are going to be interested in draft capital. Cowboys have that.
Yep.
And so maybe that is a deal. And boy, I tell you what, it would fill the void left by Micah Parsons for sure. But I think you're getting a player that's a little more all-around player. I'm not saying he's better than Micah Parsons. I think he's certainly right there with him. But I think Max Crosby is not only a pass rusher, he's a run stopper, and he's more that Micah Parsons isn't. So I think certainly I won't say upgrade, but certainly you're right back in the mix, exactly where you were. And then what you've added on that defensive line already, you add a Max Crosby to that list. Cowboys will be a very difficult team up front for sure for anybody. So see where Max Crosby ends up. But I think you tell Tom Brady, I'm sick of this bleep. Tom Brady may say, well, screw you then, buddy. Get out.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I don't know, because according to the reports, he told Tommy it's Super Bowl.
He's done.
I'm done.
Yep.
Well, if that's the case, then perhaps it'll happen. And on our YouTube page, Eagle Fan 31 asking he'd do A.J. Brown for Max Crosby. Well, I say, would you do A.J. in a second for Max? He says probably just to get A.J. out of the building. And that's maybe what it'll take to move a Max Crosby in terms of also moving the money to match in order for the Eagles to get that done. But it'll be very interesting to see. And if that happens, Cowboys, watch out, because the Eagles will be loading up for yet another division and Super Bowl run if that's the case. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 if you want to be a part of the conversation. Coming up next, though, the Seattle Seahawks are Super Bowl champions, and they did it with a guy nobody thought would win a Super Bowl in Sam Darnold. Is there another Sam Darnold that could potentially be that for another team this upcoming season? Well, the Morning Huddle was discussing it. We'll talk about that when we come back here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, everybody. It's Joe Reinagel. Now is a great time of year to get your roof inspected and ready for our crazy spring weather. Be it hot, cold, rain, or hail, who knows what Mother Nature has in store for us this year. Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994. Your roof protects your home and your family. A quality roof overhead means comfort, confidence, and certainly peace of mind. Now is the time to get your roof ready for spring. Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge, and Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Texas is leading America again, and John Lujan is a big reason why. Working side by side with Governor Greg Abbott, Representative John Lujan helped bring high-paying jobs home and strengthen Texas's energy dominance. Now, John Lujan is ready to bring the Trump agenda home to Texas. That means fighting for affordability, higher-paying local jobs, and lower federal taxes for working families. It means defending Texas energy, protecting oil and gas jobs from failed liberal policies, and keeping America #1 in energy production. It means securing our border, making President Trump's border policies permanent, crushing the cartels, stopping fentanyl, and ending human trafficking. And it means rebuilding our military. No social experiments, no distractions, just the strongest, toughest fighting force on earth. Conservative John Lujan is the only candidate endorsed by the San Antonio Express-News, Texas Alliance for Life, and Governor Greg Abbott. On March 3rd, vote Republican John Lujan for Congress. Abbott, Trump, Lujan, a tough team for Texas.
Political ad paid for by John Lujan for Congress.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
This is Carla Hall for Eggland's Best. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, make sure you're choosing wholesome ingredients like Eggland's Best eggs to plus up your nutrition. With more than 6 times the vitamin D and double the omega-3s and vitamin B12 compared to ordinary eggs, Eggland's Best supports a healthy lifestyle. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs. Visit egglandsbest.com to learn more.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Round up your foursome, your work crew, your weekend golf buddies, even the ladies, and get ready for a fun, laid-back day at the Golf Club of Texas. Monday, March 30th. Lock in a team for just $500 for a foursome, or jump in solo for $150 per player and spend the day talking trash, crushing drives, and laughing your way around the course. This isn't a stuffy golf club tournament. It's golf the way it should be. The Spring Golf Classic benefits feeding animals at no-kill shelters across Texas, so you're having a great time for a great cause. Presented by Flight by Yingling and sponsored by Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, and Ancira.com. And when the last putt drops, the day is just getting started. Join us for the after party at the 90 Proof Bar at Lucky Ranch Road and Highway 90. Cold drinks, great food, and all the post-round storytelling you can handle. So pick your team, claim your spot, and tee up with San Antonio's Sports Star. Sign up your foursome now at sasportstar.com.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We got lucky, or somebody got lucky. Pair of tickets fell into my lap, but you got to be able to go tonight. Hank Williams Jr. is playing at the rodeo tonight. If you want to go, be caller number 5 right now at 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you want to go see Hank Williams Jr. tonight at the rodeo, I've got your chance to go. As for the morning huddle, they were talking about our Super Bowl champion, the Seattle Seahawks. They took a gamble on Sam Darnold and his rehabilitation, and he paid off, leading that team to a Super Bowl title. Well, is there another Sam Darnold-like quarterback that could lead a team to a Super Bowl that could be closer than we think?
Got an article here about who could be the next Sam Darnold. Are there? Why is that so funny?
I don't know. This sounds like something I'm not really going to aspire to, but okay.
I mean, Sam Darnold just won. He just won a Super Bowl.
But you got to go through 5 other teams and a couple of
so you got to find
kicks
a
in the teeth
mediocre
and
quarterback.
It says. I think what it's talking about is
the
guys who people have written off who could turn their careers around.
Gardner Minshew.
Okay,
Gardner Minshew.
all right.
I say Minshew.
Here's the list that these guys wrote, and you tell me if you think there's a world where they could turn things around.
All right.
Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones looked really good last year.
Yeah.
And then he had a torn Achilles. And so now, but Indy started off 7-1. They fell apart when he left. Can Daniel Jones ever turn into the player people thought he was going to be?
No. It's not going to happen with the Colts. He doesn't have enough help. He has a nice running back. I'll give him that.
He was 24, 44, and 1 as a starter. Which is crazy. His efficiency numbers last year, he was the third quarterback since 1950 to start 3-0 while averaging 9+ yards per attempt and no turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be a free agent this year. I feel like the Colts are probably I don't know what the Colts are going to pay him. I feel like they are going to pay him something to keep him around.
I think they will for some continuity at the very least. So I'm not mad at that. I just don't think I'm just kind of a realist here. I don't think there's a lot of there.
I think he's one of the guys who we have to talk about, like when we talk about Anthony Davis or anyone like that. It's like you have to take into effect that he got, poor play was part of it, but he was always hurt. And that's a bigger, if you can't be on the field, it's hard to ever blossom into what
I don't see him taking whatever team he's on to Sam Darnold heights, either to Minnesota with a conference championship game or obviously a Super Bowl championship. I don't think Daniel Jones has got it.
What about Mac Jones?
You know what? In the limited,
Mac Jones just spent a year with Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
In fact, he won a game. He won a game against the Rams on Thursday Night Football this year in overtime. Looked pretty good. And Sam Darnold, a guy who spent a year with Kyle Shanahan on his route back to where he is.
I'm not mad at it.
What do you think of Mac Jones?
I think that he, given the right circumstances, certainly has the skill set to do it.
Okay.
Because he's not a lifter, but he's certainly a helper.
He'll be on the team. He'll be on San Francisco again this year because he did sign a 2-year deal. So he's got one more year to work with Shanahan. There's a world where, I can imagine Brock Purdy getting hurt again. And
Purdy goes down. In the limited sample we got him this year, Mac performed just fine.
What about Malik Willis? Malik Willis got written off. Okay.
He was a Liberty, right?
Liberty guy. Yeah. He started with the Titans.
He can sling it. There's no getting around it. But no way in hell is he Sam Darnold. No.
Okay.
No.
He only started. They used a second-round pick on him. The Titans did, and he only started 3 games in his first 2 years in Tennessee. Like they just didn't trust him there.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got to Green Bay, and there's a theme here. These guys meet these OCs who are like Matt LaFleur is an offensive mind, and they get with these guys, and suddenly, wow, you start to see some real improvements. Malik Willis would surprise me just because I've seen so little of him, but
he just doesn't have the bona fides that Darnold. Malik Willis threw it around at Liberty. And was drafted probably higher than he should have been to a team that probably wasn't in a place to develop him the way that he should have been. But Darnold, we knew coming out of college, had every ingredient, and it didn't hit for a couple of years. Malik, the jury's out. I don't know if he has every ingredient. I don't know.
What about number 2 overall draft pick in 2021, Zach Wilson?
No. Where?
Well, here's why I say no. Mike McDaniel knew he was probably getting fired from Miami, and when he had a chance, when he benched Tua, he had a chance to go to Zach Wilson,
right.
And instead he went with 7th round draft pick Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, he went with Q. That's right. Yeah, so
that tells me Zach Wilson doesn't have anything. No. I just don't. I think he sucks.
Well,
I thought he
remember
sucked
from
all
the
along.
Jets. Darnold at least thought, well, there's some other stuff going on with the Jets, but Zach they wanted Flacco. Remember, they were like, sit this idiot down. So
he's got a huge arm. He just sucks at football, man. I've seen enough of him. I know he's not good. This one is
so far we've only got one possible Darnold, at least in my mind.
Okay. What about Anthony Richardson?
Oh man.
Now, Anthony Richardson is a combine guy. Anthony Richardson is one of those dudes who looks great. Like Anthony Richardson wasn't a great quarterback in college.
No, but I will say this.
But he's a 40. He's a high jumper, long
all
thrower.
Of that. So and I don't want to just compare him to Cam Newton, because I'd also like to put him in the same boat with Josh Allen, because I think they all three share similar body size, skill set, strength, speed. So if you tell me that he's got the same tools that Josh Allen does, and you're going to give me 4 years in the right place, maybe,
but I doubt it highly. He's got to be able to stay healthy first. The guy hadn't lasted more than 6 games in the NFL without getting hurt in between or tapping out because he's tired. So running him like a Cam Newton, probably not a great idea. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Eagle fan wants to know who's drafting Trinidad Chambliss. He got his waiver. He's going to return to Ole Miss, it looks like, and play the college football season unless something changes between now and the draft. But that's going to be a very interesting thing to keep at least in the front of your mind as we enter the draft season. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pleasure. We'll put a bow on the show, get you ready for the weekend. Coming up next here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Here in San Antonio in the Hill Country, our water is hard. It's harsh like some accents.
Hey, what's the matter with you?
Now that's harsh. At the same time, those that know have a Connecticut quality water softener and enjoy smooth, soft, pure, clean water like this.
Tú eres mi luz en la oscuridad.
Hard, harsh water.
Hey, use with the face.
Soft water.
El amor es como el agua que nunca se seca.
If you don't have a Connecticut water softener, you're basically inviting hard water into your home to beat up your appliances, hot water heater, and every pipe in your home. And if you can't live without your coffee maker, hard water damages it too. Call me for a free in-home water evaluation at 656 Pure.
For a limited time, get a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off a trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months. Call Connecticut of San Antonio in the Hill Country, 210-656-PURE.
Connecticut is simply the best water softener you can buy, and that's why we say it's the last water softener you'll ever own.
License number 38961.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-269-3394. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-269-3394. 800-269-3394. 800-269-3394.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $700, plus get a free adjustable base with select Sealy Posturepedic mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's renter's insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the four walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Folks, there's nothing romantic about home repairs, but when your plumbing has lost that love and feeling and your AC is about to achy break your heart, call Quarterman Plumbing, Heat, and AC at 210-651-5899. We'll fix the issue fast at a great price with a servant spirit.
Joel, this is a special Valentine gift from me to you.
Yeah, but why are your arms red?
I got a deal on this plant for your office.
That's poison ivy, Nigel.
It's what?
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899.
License number TACLA 141074E and 16004.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Tuesday on The Blitz, well, we had a big NBA All-Star weekend. How did that go? And we're going to look ahead to the second half of the season.
Now, we also have the latest on at the Dallas Cowboys and what's going on in the NFL. Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk will join us at 5:15.
The Blitz Tuesday begins at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. 94.1 FM.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pleasure. Appreciate y'all riding along with me this evening as we take you up to the top of the hour, send you off into a President's Day weekend to where you can have yourself a good old time. Hopefully everyone out there is having a good time and ready for the weekend. Congratulations to Lewis. He is going to see Hank Williams Jr. tonight out at the rodeo. Bunch of comments about the Eagles needing to fix their offensive line, and that is true. But they need a lot of things, and that could the addition of the new offensive line coach help fix their offensive line woes. That is something that I also think could be a possibility. So it's going to be very interesting to kind of see how things play out for the Eagles and just all NFL teams this upcoming offseason. Enjoy your long weekend. Be sure to call your loved ones, check on them. You never know what people are going through in life, and a simple, hey, how you doing, can change everything for somebody. We'll be back on Tuesday. Morning Huddle, get you started bright and early, 6 in the morning. Then The Blitz with Jason and Joe from 2 to 6, and then I'll be right back here on Tuesday to bring you home from 6 to 7. Until then, everybody have a wonderful weekend out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better